So you want to buy a house in today's market, but it is a hyper-aggressive seller's market. First of all, good luck. However, here are some tips that'll give you an edge with your offers. Number one, pretty much any offer in today's market, any winning offer will have to be a firm offer. Everyone is fighting tooth and nail for one of these homes, so that means you probably will not win unless you remove your financing and home inspection condition. So let's talk about the financing condition. If you're not going to win with a financing condition, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, don't even look at a house unless you have your pre-approval in writing from a bank or a mortgage broker saying that you can afford this much and you understand what your payments are and that you're comfortable with it. Check. The second thing you can do is when you go and look at a house and you say, oh, I love this house, I'm trying to buy it, you probably have 2 or 3 days before you have to put in an offer based on most houses having offer dates these days after a few days. Send the MLS paper to your mortgage broker or bank rep and have them have a look at it and see if there's any issues with financing that house. If they say no, then you can go in without a finance condition. Although we don't recommend it, but there's nothing you can do. Everyone's removing their finance condition. Home inspection. You will not win an offer 95% of the time unless you remove your home inspection condition. What could you do about that? Number one, you have to assess what type of house you're going to buy. If you're buying a fairly new home, chances are you're not going to need to spend a lot of money to fix stuff. Often, you can fix your own stuff. Let's say there's a loose faucet or there's a little leak somewhere. You can fix it yourself, but basically consider this. If you hire a handyman and it costs you $500 to do a bunch of small repairs, that is the same price as a home inspector. So at least you can have that as kind of evening out. Second, if you're worried that you're buying an older house and there might be other issues, sometimes you can call the listing agent and ask if you can do a second appointment with a home inspector. You just walk in and you walk through. Check if there's mold in the basement or the attic. See if the structure, the foundation has no issues. Check for the major ticket items and walk through with that inspector. I have done that hundreds of times, which will give you peace of mind. If you're okay with what you find out, then you're going to go without it. 2. In this hyper-aggressive seller's market, it's impossible to tell how much a house will really sell for. However, one of the things that you're going to have to do is you can't look at, traditionally, you would look at what some of the homes sold for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, and then you say, okay, maybe the price will be about this much. Even though the listing price is this, you have to come up with this. In a hyper-aggressive seller's market, you have to check what the most recent house sold for literally last week or yesterday, or the last 2 weeks, and then you will have to add about 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,000 on top of that one, because everyone else that's serious is also looking at that house and saying, well, we have to beat that house. So you're going to have to come up 20, 25, 30,000 more than the last house that's the most comparable sold for last week or even yesterday. Number 3, check if there's preemptive offers allowed. If the listing says that the seller will entertain preemptive offers, that means that they have a date where they're planning to collect all the offers. However, they're willing to sell the house to you if you give them a certain price. So they already have a price in mind. Have your agent call them, or you can call the listing agent and say, what is the price that your seller wants? And if it's something that you're willing to give them, maybe you put a preemptive offer. If it says offer date only, no preemptive offer, then you got to wait for that date and then look at the most recent sale from the last week and then add 25,000 and then you'll have a chance to buy the house. The last one that I'm going to talk about is tell the listing agent and the family a little bit about yourself when you're presenting your offer. 90% of agents never even talk about their clients. They just submit an offer and they say, hopefully we're the winners. Guys, get as personal as possible. Send a letter to the buyers. Put a picture with the offer in your email of your family. If you have kids, great. If you don't have kids, put your family, your mother, father, brother, in a picnic or the best picture you could find and say, this is why we should be the ones to get the house. What will happen sometimes, okay? Maybe it's sometimes as much as 50% of the time, the sellers will start rooting for you if you start getting really personal. Tell them about your life. Show them a picture. Write a letter. And if you're close to the best price, close. You don't have to be the best price. Close to the best price. They may come back and give you a second chance, and they may give you hints at what price you need to be to win the house. But ultimately, they will at least root for you. Guys, I sell houses all the time, and 90% of the agents do never tell something about their client, and I think that's wrong. Get personable, get your agent to sell you as the buyer. Make up an amazing story. Hopefully, it's just all true, but that's what you got to do to give yourself an edge. If you guys want any tips on how to win a house that you're looking at, reach out to us and I'll tell you how, no problem. And like and subscribe for more videos on the best tips in the current real estate market.